Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. We have quite some things to talk about. Welcome, friends. Yes, welcome, friends. Welcome all. I'm just going to wait just a few seconds until people come into the room. hmm Okay, so just wait a second or two. So this week was rather, well, the week only started. It is Tuesday already, but I feel like a whole week happened or so much time has passed just because there was so much that went on, especially with this topic. So I just want to get into a few things about the Meghan Markle and her husband Harry's interview with Oprah. And first off here, I kind of talked about it in a previous video, and you can go check it out. Everybody kind of wanted to wait and see what um, Megan had to say. There was so much, false press, false news going around. There was so much things that she revealed during the interview. She and her husband revealed during the interview that we didn't even know was going on. In that sense, there's a deeper uh, understanding as to what was going on. It was more than just, the bullying and, the constant racial overtones over the years of Meghan being in the royal family. But I feel like a lot of people, looking around, online and with, people's reaction, it looked like a lot of you guys did not expect some of the things that she was saying. And even me, I didn't expect her to go too deep into it, but she still held back a lot. I feel she still held back quite a bit. We, she revealed also that, everything that was said was kind of on the flip side. And you could just see that there's this whole machine to just undo her from the time she got in that royal family. I'm telling you, the toxicity was there. And what is surprising to me is, when you look at the wedding and how things was happening, how everyone behaved during the wedding, they put on their best face, you know. Charles walked her mom because her mom was there by herself. So like she didn't have like someone like partnered with her to walk down the aisle during the service and all that stuff. And Charles walked Megan down and then went back and walked the mom down and all those things. It was just nothing but a nice face. People were led to believe like, wow, okay, so this mixed race girl, she married the prince and it looks good. But who would know that in less than 24 months she would have to run out of there with darn near the clothes on her back because of the quick turnaround, you know? I mean, maybe people would expect, her to kind of, remain in the family like a few years, maybe like 10 years, and then there's a breakdown. But so quick was the turnaround. It was like almost immediately. It was just like she was just literally pushed out. So there was things that were shocking about the interview. Um, we know that the royals, the British royal crown, how they even how they got into that position has been filled with blood. Okay, so let's just put it out there. All right, they've stolen a lot, they've taken a lot, they've taken down all these black kingdoms and got the Commonwealth to where it is today. Okay, but it is not new. So for people to say like, oh, it is a new thing, I didn't know that they would treat her like that. Come on now. Uh, You know, they have been very um, strategic and strict about their bloodline and who they let in. You know what I'm saying? Not Kate, Megan on the father's side, on her white side, is a distant cousin. Okay. So these people are very strategic, and anybody who doesn't, go according to, you know, you know, protocol, you're not in the straight and narrow, you can pretty much find yourself in a lot of trouble. So the racism and the material of it, and just the mere fact that the whole, you know, establishment exists the way it is not surprising of of the behavior. And I think in some way she probably thought, Megan probably thought, I can handle it, but she was in for uh another animal. It's a whole another animal when it's not like watching a movie about the royal family, and you think you can just get up in there and then you're like, okay, I am a princess and I just need to take some classes and I just need to learn my etiquette and all the royal protocols and they will love me. It is a whole different animal, and this beast is very ferocious. So, I did ask about whether she was prepared or not and all that stuff. You could be prepared for a lot of things in your mind. Like, you're going for a job interview and you think, I know that basic questions that they will ask. And then all of a sudden you go to the job interview and it's like, boom, not just the questions that they're asking you, but also the attitude of the interviewer, the tone of the interviewer. It's like so many factors in there once you're in front, being the one living in the situation. So people were surprised at the details, not with the racism. I wasn't surprised about that. I mean, we all know that. But I am surprised at how quickly she was just recycled in there. As soon as she get in, it's just toxicity after toxicity. She couldn't handle anymore, and then they were feeling unsafe, and it was just all this old stuff, and you had to run out of there. All right. So, it, this is something that a lot of people didn't really think, and I mean, they did post in the papers, what they thought of the baby, all those inappropriate stuff that they were talking about as a child. A lot of people still have a romantic view of monarch, these monarchs, these royal families. And so this interview with Meghan and Harry and what they were saying basically puts it out there in public now in front of the people. Not that we haven't always known that, but it just puts it in front of other non-black people like, oh my goodness, what? But it has always been the same. If the late Princess Diana could not survive this family, how was this couple, Harry, choosing to marry Meghan and they not approve? How are they supposed to be there happily ever after? You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, this goes on to, my next idea. Like, should we even be surprised at all? Like, should, what was there to be surprised about when we all knew, how it was going to go down, how they are, and to expect that someone with some black blood in them is going to go in there and all of a sudden it's just going to be like, yeah, this is my dream come true type of thing. So the points that I wanted to make is this has never been new. People need to stop, having imaginations in their head. And, I feel like a lot of people were living their life vicariously through the royal family. Like even with the wedding and everything, it was a lot of American viewers. You'd swear they're British citizens and that's their royal family. Like I do, feel like Americans and like other people around the world are really, um, taking them on and invested in everything around them. But this is the real thing. This is who they really are. And Megan might not have been prepared in the way that she thought she was prepared. She might not have been prepared in the way she maybe thought, okay, if maybe these are probably the scenarios that I'll probably have to face, and this is how I'd handle it. There's no planning that can be done to offset the creative bigotry in these kinds of circles. Okay, there's just absolutely no planning. There's just no way you can be prepared for that. And I don't think Harry could really prepare her for that. Since he's been brought up in it, he's going to have a different worldview until he marries somebody who is black or half black or whatever. Then now he's confronted. But there's no way that you can, you know, y- y- she has to learn by experience. And this is the only way that Megan could find out what it is. Okay. So we all saw the interview. Everything came out. What didn't come out in the wash did come out in the rinse. I still felt that they held back so much. I feel like even if they do an interview, and they're not going to be popular after all, but they have left the royal family anyway. They've been cut off. Harry said, the dad cut him off completely. If it wasn't for, his late mother's inheritance that she had left for Harry, he probably wouldn't have been able to do as much as he could. Um, why not just come out and just say everything? And don't hold back. You know what I mean? Like, when when somebody's like, I'm on my way out. I've left everything. And when you have nothing to lose, you don't even have that financial support. Now you don't even have security. I feel like they should have just come out and just said everything. I heard that the interview was 3 hours, and then because of the interest, they had 3 hours worth of content. Then they were going to put and show 1 hour, but because of the intense interest, they put it to 2 hours of 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 content. But I feel like if that was 3 hours and they held back so much, they should have just said everything. There was still a lot of diplomacy. I guess they're still really scared, but man, come on. They could have just come out with a little bit more. But anyway, let's move on to the aftermath. After the interview, there's a particular character who has been a known problematic journalist throughout. And this is besides issues with Meghan Markle when she went in there, and that's none other than Piers Morgan. Now, I remember how he was when he was on that apprentice show that is run by then Donald Trump. He was on The Apprentice with Omarosa and how he was so problematic with Omarosa, and just I didn't like him from since then. Okay, so the thing with Piers, Piers and Meghan Markle used to be friends. Okay, they used to be very, very good friends. Now, what happened was when Meghan, met Harry at the time she was, dating him and everything like that. Sorry, Meghan, let me rephrase. When Meghan met Harry, okay? Harry, at the time, he was, the royal prince, okay? They were dating and everything like that. They were friends even before she met Harry, but like when they met, when she met Harry and they had the engagement, and things was getting very serious, and the wedding was, you know, in sight. They were about to get married. The royal family told Meghan the people that she needs to distance herself from if she's going to expect to join their family. And that is none other than Piers Morgan. Because Piers is not only Piers is press, and the palace is very like controlling over their image. And this is why, like I said in my former video, this is why I said that they would give, parties and wine and dine them and everything like that, and throw, dinner parties for the journalists, is because they really want to stay on their good side. They value their influence. The press is everything to the royal family, and they don't want Meghan's friendship with Piers. They don't know how Piers is going to go. As we can now see, he's pretty much a problematic loose cannon and absolutely deplorable. And, so they told her, cut Piers off. And that's what she did. And from that time on, Piers has been on a vicious, vehement, bullying tirade against this Meghan Markle. I mean, you would swear it was Harry's problem. He stole his girl. Like, come on. He totally is acting like as if he's been jilted at the altar. I mean, you're looking for something more serious here. Piers is extremely hateful. So because Meghan cut Piers off, because Piers was initially like, oh, well, I'm going to go to the wedding. I'm really happy for her. He was saying all these nice, good things. And, she owes me an invitation. Well, the royal family says you cannot invite uh, Piers to the party. You cannot have him in your friendship circle. You got to be a certain way. So with that, Piers is just out of control, out of his mind, and just saying whatever he feels to say on the public airwaves. It is shocking. So now as you know, he is on he runs his job is he's on the British Good Morning Britain show, I believe. And they were having a discussion on the interview, and as usual, Piers showed his problematic self, okay? Toxic self, saying whatever he wants. So hold on a minute. I am going to show you that one of the panelists, Dr. Shola, okay, had to put him in his place because he was just out of control. One second here. Let me just share screen. All right, I guess I will share my entire screen. Okay. All righty. Okay, so here we're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look. Um, all righty. So I did save. Ah, there she is. So we're just gonna take a listen. She really took care of that issue because things are so out of control and toxic, and Dr. Shola had to show Piers where to go. All right. Why he don't want to let her? Oh my gosh, she's out of control. Just let me just continue. Our royal family. He not a member of the royal family. Come on now. Yes, he did. Dr. Shola, my sister. Dr. Shola left him shook. She sure did. Since when he's a member of the royal family? Good heavens. Since when? This makes no sense. Oh, let me defend my royal family. She's the only one, and I'll tell you this. The conversation was so toxic. There was other panelists, but I don't even want to get into them because they weren't as good as Dr. Shola. She had to put him in his place because it was just way too much. And, a lot of times, it is when you idolize people and you put people up, they put up the royal family and all this old stuff. I think people need to focus on the things that matter the most because this is institutionalized the way they run things in that palace. And you have people like Piers because of their evil and their jealousy. Yes, he was. Let me just say, he's um, jealous because he didn't get an invitation to some wedding. Okay? Yes. So Hannah Mai says, well, now Piers Morgan quit Good Morning Britain. Oh, Lord, he out of a job. Mercy, mercy, mercy. So, I mean, it's just, and you know what, before he does, so let me just look into this. That's what I heard too. He had another confrontation in the same show that he's on with a coworker who does the weather, Alex. It came out that he also had to tell Piers where to go. It was too much for him because of his he was just saying whatever he wants how he wants. I don't know, it's that privilege that just came out and he feels he could just say whatever about whomever, and he had to take him to task. So let's show this. Let me put my screen again. That's good. Share the screen. Uh, yeah, let's look at this again. Okay. So right here. Okay. Hold on a second. So, good morning, Britain star Alex Beresford has spoken out after his tense face-off with Piers Morgan on the Today Show. Let me see if it's gonna play. Come on. The thing with this whole thing here is why Susanna always have to act like, we need to take a break and all that stuff. Let the vibe flow. Let the flight. Listen, she's an enabler. I'm telling you. Look at how Piers just walks off like a child because he couldn't hear um another guy disagree with him. And let me tell you something. Alex making his point very clear. I feel he was very gentle on Piers and how he worded it. I feel it was hard to watch because Dr. Shola wasn't sparing him before, but he still walked off because he didn't want to be bothered with another man, you know, taking him to task. But he's correct. Look at him, like a total child. This is this is crazy. So look here. It says that he did quit the show. Ooh, let's look at this. Oh my gosh. And this is all over him not being invited to a wedding, by the way. Like all over that. Oh, oh, I guess it'll come on when it wants to come on. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Over a wedding invitation. Oh, stop it. I don't know. This website, they got a lot of ads. They got a lot of ads. Why do they get a lot of ads? Anyway, it wants to think. Um, we'll put it on a bigger screen. Let's take a look. Oh, it's sort of like a slideshow. Okay. He received 41,000 complaints. Yeah. Would they have that same fire for Prince Andrew and his whole pedo situation that he's under investigation for in the United States? But some, you know, woman that's just married one of the princes and she didn't invite you to your wedding and it was just um all of that, he needs to go. And the disrespect and everything like that, he needs to go. Okay, it's people like that. This is why Meghan couldn't even stay in the royal family. She had to run out of there. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, let me just stop sharing this screen here. Okay, I don't know why it just wants to. The site just has a mind of its own. Oh my goodness. Oh, you couldn't hear the clip. Okay. Do you want me to? Let me just go play it again. But yeah, he couldn't take it for 2 minutes. Such a brat with his white privilege. And he feels he could say whatever he wants. And he feels that people care to have drama in their morning. When you cut on your TV, you have your breakfast and you just want to, charge up, get the news, maybe a few jokes so you can start on your day. It's stressful enough, and then you have to hear this. No. Yes, he's such a bully. He maybe was asked to step down. You know what? That very well may be because after getting all these comments and 41,000 complaints, look here, the network that owns Good Morning Britain does not want. Listen, ratings is everything. So if they kept him on, they're gonna be like, well, we just not watching Good Morning Britain, and all of them is gonna go down the tube. So yeah, you did probably have to ask him to do that. But you know how they are you know, when someone is racist and everything like that, they never really have no hiring per se. It's just a very cordial shift to another department, even though they've been egregious. So yeah, he was maybe asked to step down. And then now they're making it look like he resigned, like he had a change of heart and he realized, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be there. Piers has no moral. I mean, he has no kind of scruples. So yeah, he probably was asked to step down. That's something to think about. That is totally something to think about. So yeah, I mean, everything here was just, you know, he was a liar. He has been, and he's been feeding the press. He is part of the press, and you know, now you can see. Look, you never see a situation where someone tells you, you know what, stay away from that person because he always has bad anger issues and he's very crazy. And then the person listens to that advice, and then the person that they were asked to stay away from acts really badly and reacts terribly to that. Now it's actually makes much sense. Oh yeah, no wonder Megan told, cut off the friendship. I mean, look at how crazy he's gotten. You swear. Harry stole Pierce's woman. Wait, doesn't Pierce have a family himself? I mean, this is all too much. This is all too much for a regular friend to now, take it so personal where it injures him because he didn't get a wedding invitation. So yeah, there's just so you know what I don't think he needs to be there. I don't think he ever needed to be on Good Morning Britain because that's the level of toxicity that really has now the former Duchess and Duke and Duchess of Sussex fearing for their lives, having to pay for their own security, and is basically alone in the world. You have to have people like Tyler Perry give you your house initially when they came here. Tyler Perry gave his house so that they can have a place to lay their head. I mean, they were literally thrown out. Okay. And it's people like Piers. Pierce wanted Meghan. Hey, he sure acts. Listen, he sure he acts like he wanted Meghan for him. Listen, somebody had an old photo of Piers Morgan, like when he was in his 20s. He still looked the same, old, haggard, and aged like milk. Just ridiculous. Yeah, Megan just didn't want him. And why should he? Disgruntled Piers, just saying whatever. He's been a problem since when he came to the States. He's been too much. The privilege. How dare you don't uh invite me to your wedding? How dare you don't do this when I ask? And you notice there are people like that when you're friends with them. You're kind of like a pet to them. They feel like they're obligated to certain things because as a black person, because even if you're biracial, they throw you back in the black pool. So let's just say, as a black person, they just kind of um, you know, you're their friend and whatever. You're like a pet. You have to, and the minute you have a mind of your own, it's like, oh, wait, how dare you have a mind of your own and tell me no, you know? And to think the royal family is the one that instructed Meghan, look, you coming in here, you gotta have, if you come in there with certain friends, these are the people we don't you have to cut off because if you're because of your association with us. So because Meghan cut off the friendship because the royal family says, you know what, he's pressed, and we're very strict with the journalism and the media that come near us. We don't want anybody, running amok. And as you can see, Piers is like a loose cannon. So you got to cut him off. So him being angry at Meghan makes no sense because it's like, do you want Meghan to cancel her engagement to Prince Harry and be like, okay, I'm not getting married to Harry anymore. I'm not joining the royal family anymore friend, um, because my friend, Piers Morgan cannot come. But what is this? She's not your girl, Piers. It's not your woman. Okay? Good heavens. Look, how Tyler Perry had to help them. That was quite a plot. Yes, that was quite a plot twist. And that's how alone they were. That is how by themselves they were. They were literally alone in the world. When the royal family put him out because he had Meghan, he put him out. He's acting like Meghan broke his heart. Child. He sure is. You stole my woman. At least give me a ticket to the wedding for all of that. I mean, come on, man. What if it was Harry that didn't want him in the wedding? Well, yeah. Listen, they don't want to have any kind of loose grip on the media. So with Piers being, press and a journalist and part of the media, they need to know what they're doing. So they can't, and she cannot be friends with someone like Piers, who could, by the way, know all the secrets. If she had kept up the friendship with him and he was in the wedding, he can come out. Look, look at how he lies. Dr. Shola had to put him in place. He says, he is a liar. Look how he lies. She cannot keep him around as a friend. He has to be cut off. He is obsessed with her. Of course he is. It's too much. Now he lost his career over her. Come on now, fam. He lost an entire career over his obsession over a woman that does not even belong to him. She was only a friend, fam. A friend. you know and I feel like Dr. Shola, she saved the day. She had to kind of like put him in his place, and I found out about Alex too, this morning. It's like people had to come and say, well, wait a minute now, it doesn't matter what it is, but you don't have to go so far. And let me tell you something. That's how these people feel about people of color, black people. I'm just going to say specifically because, as a black woman, I'm going to just say it is what it is. They feel they can say whatever they can about you with no reservation. I mean, look at how Meghan carried herself in the interview with Oprah. She could have said, yeah, man, Kate was a babe. She was da 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 da. She was still diplomatic and even very, careful in how she worded things. Even when she told about her conflict with Kate, she was still respectful around, you know, Kate, over her conflict. And Kate was totally wrong. Okay. Well, that's good for him. He's a chinless wonder, as they say in Britain. Chinless. No, honestly, like, oh my gosh, let me go look for it, y'all. Let me go look for it. I feel messy today. Okay, I feel really messy today. There was a picture of a young Piers Morgan back in the day, okay, when he was a young bug, okay? And hold on a second here. Oh my gosh. This was when he was very young. Hold on a second. Dang, these news outlets. Okay, guys, look here. So this is when Piers was back in the day. Okay, back in the day. Actually, that's not really what I wanted to get into. I kind of wanted to share. Hold on, I wanted to share something here. There we go. Just share my entire screen. It's better for us. Yeah, because this is when he was young, guys. This is like when he was young, like under 40, like he was already looking old. Okay, I'm telling you, ugly is ugly inside and out. He's been ugly. Okay? This is how he is, and he has the audacity to come for people and tell them all kinds of racist things and feel like he's better than people. This is him now, very recent picture, okay? This is him now, and this was him back then. All right? I mean, he's looking out, he still looks raggedy. Let me stop sharing. He still looks raggedy. Yes, Meghan sure feels better now that it's off her chest. Of course, that was a burden for her, and she still had to hold back. She still held back so very much because I really feel like she was scared. Like, even if you're no longer in Britain, but that is very real. I mean, when the late Princess Diana died, she wasn't in Britain either. Like, she was in France, and she got into this crazy accident that is suspicious to this day. They took so long to take her to the hospital. It was so much indignity going on around her death. They were pausing on the way to the hospital. They didn't like necessarily rush to save her life. I mean, it was just so sketchy. She wasn't in Britain either. I mean, people are coming into the royal family and they coming into the royal family curtsying and they fleeing out with their hands in the air screaming on their way out. It was just, but I didn't expect Meghan to leave as quickly as she did. It was really toxic in there. Really, really toxic in there. So, I mean, you know, it's just a lot. And all because of people, and people want to call her a liar, peers want to call her a liar. No. That their media house, their newspapers, the TV in the UK is not easy. You think American paparazzi and American media is not easy? I'm telling you, if the palace got to wine and dine journalists and throw functions for them where they could woo them and keep in their good graces, is a monarch careful and maybe even scared of the media over there too? What do you all think? Lord. If they got to wine and dine journalists and, you know, keep in their good graces and be very, very careful with how they handle things. You know what I mean? And here Megan is doing the interview with them with Oprah. They're not in, I don't know how much control they have over US media. I'm sure they don't. And maybe that's why they're scared of it too. What she might say. I think she should have said everything. Say everything. I wish she would have like brought Piers in and say he's toxic too. My goodness. So yeah. This is just a little bit of toxicity, okay, toxicity tea. So, you know, hey, if you're gonna throw dinner and parties for the media and sort of have them as your pet, it looks like you really care a lot about your image and what they might say, because if the media can run princesses in and out of there, you know, and can make or break things, I mean, hey, what can they not do? You know? And was it necessary for Pierce to even have to lose his career because he won't shut his mouth and stop with his white privilege? Nobody wanted to hear that. I'm so glad those people stood up for I mean, Meghan is probably was not there physically, but I'm so glad that they stuck up for her. But we have to be a little bit more like more re I was gonna say reactive, but I don't know if that's the correct word, but it's like you have to stand up for yourself, because he was so reckless throughout the years because of that one thing. He didn't get an invitation, and he was saying so many racist things. Because you know what? It wasn't just Megan that he was riling at. He was riling at all black people, and she's biracial. She's not even fully black, but they just go all in. It was as if there was a twig that burst and the whole platform fell, and he was just free falling into the abyss. So anyway, good riddance. At least he's not going to be there spewing all that nonsense. It is just wild. So yeah, anywho, we'll see and discuss in the comments. Let's keep this discussion going. What do you think? You know, should it even have gone on this long? And do you think what did you take away from this whole interview? I mean, racism is still exists, and in so many different ways. And I feel like in countries like in Europe, where it's more covert, it's more difficult because it's not in your face. It's not something that you'll have to confront. It's very subtle. It's very underhand. You have to be very sensitive. You have to read between the lines because they handle it so well. But it's so far more toxic because you're not dealing with things that are easily seen. You're dealing with innuendos. One of the royal family members had come to a function, and she had worn a brooch that basically is some type of homage, some type of blackface brooch. And she went to a function in public with that and wanted to act, just to make things just more, that's a subtlety. They come with a brooch with racial overtones, and that type of blackface thing. And there was just so much furor over that. It's just to make Megan's skin crawl. It was just so creative, is their, way that they showed that they wanted to. They pushed them out. They pushed them out. And people like Piers, I mean, hey, they pushed them out. I don't even know why they're trying to act like as if they left and everything. No, they pushed Meghan out. I feel Meghan would have left Harry if Harry didn't know to go behind her, because he didn't want to lose Meghan. So he was willing to throw away that family because you know what? They killed his mother and nothing was done behind that. Like nothing. And for you to be that young and lose your mom that way, and they constantly, there was just no accountability or anything like that. Meghan was the way out. So, hey, let's discuss in the comments later. I don't know. It's just unbelievable. But I'm glad that he's out of there. I'm glad Meghan and Harry's out of there. And I'm glad this Piers Morgan got kicked out. Let's say it that way. They try to act like he resigned. No, he didn't. Kicked out. Good riddance. All right, guys. We'll talk later and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.